Picture this, you walk into a room, and she lights up when she sees you. But here's the thing, most guys completely miss the real signals happening in those first crucial moments. They focus on the obvious stuff while the most powerful attraction cues slip right past them. What I'm about to share with you today will completely change how you read women's interest levels. Because the truth is, how a woman greets you reveals more about her secret feelings than anything she'll ever say out loud. And if you don't know how to recognize and respond to these signals correctly, you're heading straight for the friend zone, no matter how much she actually likes you. Stay with me because by the end of this video, you'll know exactly what to look for and, more importantly, what to do when you spot these signs. And if you want to become a master at reading female psychology, make sure to hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell. I share game-changing insights like this every week. Here's something most men don't understand. Women are constantly sending subconscious signals about their level of interest, especially during greetings. But here's the kicker, they're often not even aware they're doing it. Neuroscience research shows us that within milliseconds of seeing someone we're attracted to, our brains trigger a cascade of chemical reactions. Dopamine, norepinephrine, and oxytocin start flowing, and these chemicals directly influence our body language and behavior patterns. But here's where it gets really interesting. Unlike men, who tend to be more direct with their attraction signals, women have evolved to be more subtle and strategic. This goes back thousands of years to when women needed to carefully evaluate potential partners while managing social dynamics and safety concerns. The greeting phase is absolutely critical because it's when her guard is momentarily down. She hasn't had time to overthink or filter her natural responses yet. Those first 2 to 3 seconds are pure, unfiltered reaction, and that's exactly where the gold is hidden. Think about it this way, if she's not interested, her greeting will be efficient, polite, and emotionally neutral. She's following social scripts. But when attraction is present, something completely different happens. Her nervous system activates, her body language shifts, and she starts displaying what psychologists call approach behaviors, even if she's trying to play it cool. The problem is, most guys are looking for the wrong things. They're waiting for obvious signals like batting eyelashes or obvious flirting, while the real indicators are happening at a much more subtle level. Before we dive into what to look for, let me tell you about the biggest mistake I see men making over and over again. They completely misread friendly behavior as romantic interest, or worse, they miss genuine attraction signals because they seem too subtle to be real. I was coaching a client last month, let's call him David. He'd been hanging out with this woman Sarah for weeks, convinced she wasn't interested because she wasn't being obvious enough. Meanwhile, she was displaying 3 major attraction signals every single time they met up. He just didn't know what to look for. When I finally showed him what to watch for, everything clicked. Within 2 weeks, they were dating exclusively. The signals had been there all along, he just needed the decoder ring. Here's the truth. Women who are genuinely interested often dial down their obvious signals, not up. Why? Because they don't want to seem too eager, they're protecting themselves emotionally, and they're testing to see if you're emotionally intelligent enough to pick up on subtlety. This means if you're waiting for neon signs, you're going to miss out on incredible women who are actually giving you green lights, you just don't speak the language yet. Alright, let's get into the meat of this. I'm going to break down the 5 most reliable greeting signals that reveal a woman's secret attraction. These aren't the obvious ones everyone talks about, these are the subtle, powerful indicators that separate the pros from the amateurs. Signal 1, the micropause recognition. This is probably the most overlooked signal, but it's incredibly telling. When a woman sees a man she's genuinely attracted to, there's often a tiny pause, we're talking maybe half a second, where she stops what she's doing and her attention becomes completely focused on you. It's not a dramatic freeze or anything obvious. It's more like the world stops spinning for just a moment while her brain processes the fact that you're there. You might notice her conversation trails off mid-sentence, or she pauses whatever activity she was doing, or her walking rhythm breaks slightly. This happens because attraction triggers what psychologists call attentional capture. When we see someone we're drawn to, our cognitive resources automatically redirect toward that person, causing this brief moment of pause. The key is that this pause happens before the greeting actually starts. It's her subconscious mind saying, "Oh, it's him," before her conscious mind kicks in with the socially appropriate response. Signal 2, the proximity adjustment. Most people maintain consistent social distances when greeting others, about arm's length for acquaintances, closer for friends. But when a woman is attracted to you, she'll unconsciously adjust this distance in one of two ways. Either she'll step slightly closer than normal, closing the gap by just a few inches, or she'll create a bit more distance than usual while maintaining strong eye contact. Both are attraction signals, just different styles. The closer approach is more common with confident, extroverted women. She feels drawn to your energy and wants to be in your space. The increased distance approach is more common with introverted women or in situations where she's being more careful. She's attracted but protecting herself, so she creates space while her eyes do the approaching instead. What you're looking for is any deviation from her normal greeting distance with other people. If she greets everyone else at arm's length but steps closer to you, or if she usually gets close to people but maintains more space with you while giving you intense eye contact, both are significant signals. Signal 3, the voice modulation shift. This one is subtle but incredibly reliable. When a woman is attracted to a man, her voice often changes during the greeting. Research in evolutionary psychology shows that women unconsciously modify their vocal patterns around men they find attractive. You might notice her voice gets slightly softer, more breathy, or drops to a lower register. Sometimes it's the opposite, her voice might get a bit higher or more animated than usual. The key is that it's different from her normal greeting voice with other people. There's also often a slight slowing down of speech during those first few words. Instead of a quick "Hey, how are you?" it becomes a more drawn-out "Hey, how are you doing?" with more emphasis on each word. This happens because attraction affects our breathing patterns and nervous system activation. She's unconsciously making her voice more appealing and intimate, even during a simple hello. Signal 4, the extended processing look. Regular eye contact during greetings is brief and functional, quick acknowledgement, then moving on to the conversation or activity. But attraction changes this completely. When a woman is secretly interested, she'll often give you what I call the extended processing look. Her eyes will meet yours and linger for just a bit longer than necessary, as if she's taking in more information than just acknowledging your presence. Sometimes this comes with a subtle head tilt or a slight narrowing of the eyes, not in a negative way, but more like she's trying to figure something out or see something deeper. It's like she's reading you while simultaneously hoping you're reading her. The really telling part is what happens after this look. Often, she'll glance away briefly and then look back again, creating this almost magnetic pull between your eye contact. Regular friendly greetings don't have this back-and-forth dynamic. Signal 5, the lingering transition. This is probably the most reliable signal of all, and it happens at the end of the greeting phase as you transition into conversation or activity. Most greetings have a clear beginning, middle, and end. People say hello, maybe exchange a brief pleasantry, and then move on to whatever comes next. But when attraction is present, women often extend this transition phase. She might repeat your name, ask a follow-up question that keeps the greeting going longer, or find a reason to stay in that initial greeting energy instead of moving forward. "Hey John." "John, right? How have you been? It's been, 2 weeks since I saw you." Sometimes it's physical, she might adjust her clothing, touch her hair, or reorganize whatever she's carrying, creating a natural pause that extends the greeting moment. She's subconsciously not ready to move past this initial connection phase. The key is that she seems reluctant to transition out of greeting mode, as if she wants to savor this initial moment of connection. Now here's where it gets really powerful. These signals rarely appear alone. When a woman is genuinely attracted, you'll often see clusters of 2 to 3 signals happening simultaneously. For example, you might notice the micropause recognition combined with voice modulation and extended processing look all in one greeting. When you start seeing multiple signals together, that's when you know you're dealing with genuine attraction rather than just individual quirks or coincidences. The most powerful combination I see is the proximity adjustment plus the lingering transition. When a woman adjusts her normal distance and extends the greeting phase, she's basically creating a bubble of intimacy around the two of you, even in a crowded room. But here's the crucial part, you need to calibrate based on her baseline behavior. If she's naturally touchy and animated with everyone, then those behaviors don't mean much when directed at you. You're looking for deviations from her normal patterns, not absolute behaviors. Recognizing these signals is only half the battle. How you respond determines whether this attraction develops into something real or fades away into the friend zone. Most guys either completely miss the opportunity or overreact and kill the vibe. Here's the framework I teach my clients, and it works incredibly well. Step 1. Mirror her energy level. If she's giving you subtle signals, you respond with subtle signals back. If she steps slightly closer, you hold your ground confidently rather than stepping back. If her voice gets softer, you might lower your voice slightly too. You're showing that you're picking up on the subtext without making it obvious or overwhelming. The key is calibration. You want to match her investment level, not exceed it. If she's being subtle, and you suddenly become super obvious and intense, you'll make her uncomfortable and she'll pull back. Step 2. Extend the moment naturally. If she's giving you the lingering transition signal, don't rush to move past it. Find a natural way to extend the greeting phase yourself. Ask a genuine follow-up question, make an observational comment, or simply slow down your own pace to match hers. Sarah, good to see you. You seem different today, in a good way. New haircut? This shows you're paying attention and gives her permission to stay in that greeting energy longer. Step 3. Create a micro callback. This is advanced but incredibly powerful. During your response to her greeting, create a small reference point that you can come back to later in the conversation or the next time you see her. If she gave you the extended processing look, you might say something like, "I like that you actually see people when you greet them. Most people are just going through the motions." Now you've acknowledged the deeper connection without making it weird, and you've created something unique between the two of you. Step 4. End first. This might sound counterintuitive, but you want to be the one who transitions out of the greeting phase, not her. Once you've mirrored her energy and extended the moment, you smoothly move into whatever comes next. This does two things. It shows confidence and social intelligence, and it leaves her wanting more of that greeting energy rather than feeling like she had to be the one to cut it short. Let me share some deeper psychological principles that will help you understand what's really happening during these attraction-based greetings. When a woman is attracted to you but trying to be subtle about it, she's experiencing what psychologists call approach avoidance conflict. Part of her wants to get closer and show interest, while another part wants to protect herself and maintain plausible deniability. This internal conflict is actually what creates many of these subtle signals. The micropause happens because her approach instinct conflicts with her caution instinct. The proximity adjustment happens because she wants to get closer but also wants to maintain some control. Understanding this conflict helps you respond appropriately. You're not trying to force a resolution, you're showing that you can handle the complexity and ambiguity like an emotionally mature man. Humans naturally mirror people they're attracted to, but women tend to do this more subtly than men. During greetings, she might unconsciously match your posture, breathing rhythm, or speaking pace. But here's the really interesting part, when you learn to mirror her subtle signals back to her, you're speaking directly to her subconscious mind. You're showing that you're on the same wavelength without having to explicitly discuss it. Every interaction is an investment of emotional energy. When a woman gives you these subtle greeting signals, she's making a small but meaningful investment in the connection between you two. Your job is to acknowledge that investment appropriately. Not so little that she feels ignored, and not so much that she feels overwhelmed. You want her to feel like her subtle communication was received and appreciated. Let me address some of the most common ways guys misread these signals. Mistake 1. Confusing nervousness with disinterest. Sometimes when a woman is attracted, she actually becomes more nervous and reserved during greetings, not more open and bubbly. If she seems slightly more awkward or formal with you than with others, that could actually be an attraction signal, not a rejection signal. Mistake 2. Assuming friendliness equals attraction. On the flip side, some women are naturally warm and engaging with everyone. If she greets you the same way she greets every other guy, that's probably just her personality, not special attraction toward you. Mistake 3. Looking for Hollywood-level signals. Real attraction signals are usually much more subtle than what you see in movies. If you're waiting for dramatic, obvious signs, you're going to miss the real opportunities right in front of you. The environment and social context dramatically affect how these greeting signals manifest. A woman might show attraction very differently at work compared to a social party compared to a chance encounter at the grocery store. In professional settings, the signals tend to be much more subtle and controlled. In social settings, they might be more obvious. In unexpected encounters, they're often more authentic because she hasn't had time to put up her usual filters. You need to adjust your interpretation and response based on the context. What would be appropriate reciprocation at a party might be completely wrong in a workplace setting. Once you've recognized and appropriately responded to these greeting signals, the real work begins. This initial attraction needs to be nurtured and developed, not taken for granted. The mistake many guys make is thinking that recognizing attraction signals means the hard work is done. In reality, it just means you've been given a green light to start building something real. Your follow-up conversations, the way you text or call, and your behavior in subsequent interactions will determine whether this initial spark grows into something meaningful or fizzles out. Remember, she gave you those subtle signals because she's interested but also cautious. Your job is to show her that her caution was unnecessary, that you're worth the risk she's considering taking. Here's something crucial that most dating advice misses. The goal isn't just to recognize when a woman is attracted to you. The goal is to become the kind of man who naturally elicits these attraction signals from high-quality women. When you understand female psychology at this level, when you can read and respond to subtle communication, and when you handle attraction with confidence and maturity, you become significantly more attractive yourself. Women can sense when a man truly gets it versus when he's just following a playbook. The difference is that real understanding comes from genuine interest in connecting with people, not just trying to get a particular outcome. Let me wrap this up with some concrete action steps you can take to start recognizing and responding to attraction signals immediately. Step 1. Develop baseline awareness. Begin observing how women greet different people in your social circle. Watch how your female friends, colleagues, or family members interact with various individuals. Notice the subtle differences in their energy, body language, and vocal tone. This observation will train your eye to spot when someone treats you differently, and more intimately, than others. Step 2. Practice the response framework. Master the art of mirroring and extending moments. When someone greets you with heightened energy, match that enthusiasm naturally. If a greeting lingers, don't rush to fill the space, let the moment breathe. Practice reading the room and responding with appropriate subtlety. Remember, your response should feel organic, not calculated or rehearsed. Step 3. Elevate your own greeting game. Become intentional about how you greet people. Approach every interaction with genuine presence and focused attention. When you consistently show up authentically, you create space for others to do the same. This naturally encourages more honest, unguarded responses from the people you meet. Here is your weekly challenge. Choose just one signal to focus on this week. Don't overwhelm yourself trying to track multiple indicators simultaneously. Whether it's extended eye contact, lingering touches, or energy shifts, become an expert at recognizing that single signal first. Once you've mastered one, identifying the others becomes significantly easier. The woman who could be perfect for you might already be communicating her interest through these subtle signals. Every day you remain unaware of these cues is another opportunity missed. Don't let someone special drift into the friend zone simply because you weren't paying attention to what she was actually telling you. Recognition is only the beginning. These initial attraction signals are your gateway to meaningful conversations that create genuine connection. When you can identify interest, you can respond appropriately and begin building something substantial. Your next step is learning how to escalate these initial signals into deeper interactions. Understanding the greeting is just the foundation. The real skill lies in transforming that momentary spark into lasting connection. Start implementing these strategies immediately. Begin with awareness, practice your responses, and challenge yourself to notice just one signal consistently. The difference between missed opportunities and meaningful connections often comes down to simply paying attention. Remember, attraction signals are often more obvious than you realize, you just need to know what to look for. These women aren't playing games or being mysterious, they're communicating clearly through a language you're now equipped to understand. The signs are there. The interest exists. Now you have the tools to recognize it and respond appropriately. Stay observant, stay confident, and trust that the connections you're seeking might already be trying to happen, you just need to notice them. Thank you so much for staying with me through this exploration. If you found value in today's discussion, don't forget to subscribe to the channel and share this video with someone who might benefit from it.